If your autistic child is about to graduate or will be graduating in the next few years, and you have found yourself lying awake at night wondering what's coming next, this video is for you. Because here is the truth that nobody tells you or really talks about at the graduation ceremony. When that diploma is handed over, a lot of services and supports that your child has been receiving since kindergarten doesn't automatically follow them into their next chapter. And for so many families, that realization is terrifying. But it doesn't have to be, because there is a next chapter. And today we're going to talk about what that next chapter looks like. Now, after high school, autistic young adults and their families face one of the biggest transitions of their lives. The IEP, that's your child's individualized education plan, that legal document that outlines all the services and supports that your child was receiving at school, it ends when they graduate. The school team is no more. And suddenly the roadmap that guided your child's educations for years, it's like it's gone, it vanished. So what replaces that plan depends on your child, their strengths, their goals, their level of support needs, and the planning that you do now. And that is exactly what we are going to walk through today. We're going to cover several different pathways, 4 of them: college and higher education, vocational training and trade programs, supported employment and day programs, and independent living and life skills. And we're going to talk about what every family needs to know, regardless of which path your child is going to take. Now, let's start with something very important, In the special education world, there's a term that is called services cliff. It refers to the dramatic drop in the support that often happens when an autistic young adult ages out of the school system. Now, under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, your child is entitled to a free and appropriate public education until they are 21 years old or until they graduate with a standard diploma. They graduate from high school, whichever one comes first. After that, that entitlement ends. Now, what replaces it is adult services. And adult services work very differently from services for grades K through 12. Instead of being entitled to services, your child now has to qualify for them. There's wait lists that can be years long. Funding varies by state, and navigating the adult services system can feel like starting from scratch. This is why transition planning matters so much, and why it should begin no later than the age of 16, and in many states earlier. If your child's IEP does not have a transition plan in it right now, that needs to change at the next meeting. The transition plan should include goals for what comes after high school. We call those goals post-secondary goals. What does your child want to do after high school? Where do they want to live? What kind of work interests them? These aren't just dreams. They are the foundation of everything that comes next. Now, for some autistic students, college is absolutely the right next step. And it is more possible than many families think or even realize. Here is what changes when your child goes to college. The IEP ends. It does not transfer to higher education. And unlike K through 12 schools, colleges do not have IEPs or 504 plans. What colleges are required to provide under federal law, specifically under the Americans with Disabilities Act and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, are reasonable accommodations. But what those accommodations look like is different at every single college, every single school. Now, here's how it works. Your child will have to register with the college's Disability Services Office. Every college should have one. They will need to share documentation of their diagnosis and request the supports they need. Some schools are very robust in what they offer. They may offer several different types of services. Others provide the very bare minimum. That is why researching a college's disability services plan before applying is just as important as looking at their academics. Now, here is the big shift. Nobody does this for your child the way the school team did before. Now, in college, your child has to speak up for themselves. Now, that is why it is so important in building that self-advocacy muscle, that ability to ask for what they need. Starting now in high school is so important. Now, if they're getting ready to go off to, they've graduated. As the parent, you still should step in and guide them along the way. Now, here's what to look for in college. Not all colleges are created equal when it comes to supporting autistic students. Look for colleges that have dedicated autism support programs, not just general disability services. Ask about their social supports, their academic coaching, mental health resources, and housing options. Some colleges have specific programs designed for neurodiverse students, meaning students whose brains work differently, including autistic students, students with ADHD, students with learning differences, and more. That goes well beyond the standard accommodations. Now, I don't want you to forget about community college, because community college is a valid and often a very wise first step for any student getting ready for college, particularly for autistic young adults, because it's a smaller environment, lower stakes, and the ability to live at home while adjusting to college level work can make all the difference. Don't let anyone make you feel like community college is a lesser choice. For many autistic students, it is the smartest one. Now, I need you to start the process as early as you possibly can. College applications, disability service registration, and housing requests all have deadlines. Don't wait until senior year to start researching. Junior year is not too early to start. Now, let's go on to the second option, which is vocational training and trade programs. If college is not the right path for your child, and it isn't for every student, college may not be the right path for that student, and that's fine. Vocational training and trade programs, they offer another route to independence, employment, and a meaningful and successful career. Trades like technology, culinary arts, automotive, construction, cosmetology, and healthcare support are all fields where autistic individuals can and do thrive, especially when the work is hands-on, structured, and skill-based. There is a free government program called Vocational Rehabilitation. You may hear it called VR for short, and it is one of the most important and underused resources available to your family. What it does is help your child prepare for work, find a job, and keep it. Depending on your child's needs, it can pay for job training, cover educational costs, provide tools and technology they need to work, and even assign a job coach who works right alongside them. And the best part, it's free. So it's something, a viable resource and support to look into. Now, here's the critical piece. Apply for VR before your child graduates. Wait lists exist, and the earlier you apply, the better. Your child's school transition coordinator, which is the person at the school whose job it is to help plan for life after graduation, should be able to help you start this process. If you're not sure who that is at your child's school, ask specifically about it at the next IEP meeting or call the special education department or coordinator at the school. I also want you to look into local community college vocational programs, certificate programs, and workforce development offerings. Many are specifically designed for students who want career-ready skills without a 4-year degree. Now, let's go on to the third option, which is supported employment and day programs. For autistic young adults who need more support, whether it's due to higher support needs, co-occurring conditions, or other factors, supported employment and day programs can provide structure, community, and meaningful activity. Now, when you're looking at supported employment, this is a program where a trained coach works side by side with your child to help them find a job that fits their strengths and they can actually keep the job. The job coach is there in the beginning to help with everything: learning the job, communicating with coworkers, handling the routines of the workplace. And over time, as your child gets more comfortable, the job coach steps back. It is a real job, real pay, and real support. Now, day programs offer structured daytime activities like life skills, social opportunities, vocational activities, and community engagement. This is for individuals who are not yet ready for or interested in competitive employment. The quality of day programs, they vary widely. So visit in person, ask detailed questions, and trust your instincts. Every state has a government agency specifically for adults with developmental disabilities, and autism is included. The agency is the gateway to most of the adult services that your child may need after high school. Things like supported employment, day programs, and housing support. The name of this agency is different in every state. Now, for example, in Ohio, you have the Cuyahoga County Department of Developmental Disabilities. So in every state, the name is different. But your child's school or a quick online search for your state plus developmental disability services, it will point you in the right direction. The application process may take time, so do not wait until graduation to start. You can apply as early as possible. Some states allow applications while your child is still in high school. I also want you to look into Medicaid waivers in your state. Now, this may sound complicated, but here is what it means in plain terms. It is a pot of government funding specifically set aside to pay for services for people with disabilities who need support to live and work in their community. It can cover things like job coaching, day programs, housing support, and more. The catch is that the wait list can be very long, sometimes years. That is why you need to apply as early as possible. Do not wait until graduation if you possibly can. Now, our last and final option is independent living and life skills. Now, regardless of which pathway your child takes after high school, independent living skills are foundational to their quality of life. And these skills need to be built intentionally, starting now, not after graduation. Now, what do we mean by independent living skills? Cooking, cleaning, doing the laundry, managing money, which is a big one, using public transportation, making appointments, communicating with employers and landlords, managing medications, navigating daily life with as much autonomy and independence as possible. These are not skills that just develop on their own. For many autistic individuals, they need to be explicitly taught, practiced, and supported over time. You have to start building these skills at home now. Give your child responsibilities, let them practice, let them make mistakes in a safe environment. The goal is not perfection. The goal is growing independence. Now, in terms of living arrangements, these options, they can range from living at home with family to supported living with housemates and staff, support to semi-independent living with check-ins to fully living on their own. There is no one right answer. The right answer is the one that matches your child's needs and goals at this point in their life. And it can definitely change over time. If your child may need support with their lives as an adult, whether there's a group home, a shared apartment with support staff, or their own place with check-ins, start looking into these options now. Your state's Developmental Disabilities Agency is the place to start. And again, get on those wait lists early. The families who plan ahead are the ones who have different options. So it's very important, if you're close to this stage, to start now. Now, here is what every family needs to know right now, regardless of whether your child is in high school or which pathway feels right. Here are some steps that every autism family needs to take. Now, step number 1, make sure the IEP has a transition plan. That transition plan is part of your child's IEP. It maps out what life after high school should look like: education, employment, and independent living skills. If your child is 16 or older and there is no transition plan in the IEP, request one immediately, ASAP. The sooner, the better. 2, apply for vocational rehabilitation now. That is a free government program that will help your child prepare for and find work. Don't wait. The process takes time, and the sooner you start, the sooner your child can access that support. Step 3, connect with your state's Developmental Disabilities Agency. That is the state official that connects adults with disabilities to services and supports. Even if you're not sure what services your child will need, getting connected early is critical. It is very important. Step number 4, look into the Medicaid waiver programs in your state. That is a government funding that pays for services like job coaching, housing support, and day programs. Get on the wait list as early as you possibly can. Step 5, start building independent living skills at home today. Every small skill your child develops now is one less barrier between them and the life that they deserve. So start with those skills today. Step 6, visit programs, schools, workplaces together. Let your child have a voice in their own future. Ask them what they want. Their input matters too, and their buy-in makes it every transition easier. So it's important to include your child in these decisions because it is their life too. So if they are able to help with that decision, please include them. Now, the road after high school looks different for every autistic young adult, and that's okay. There is no single right path, only the path that fits your child. Now, what matters the most is that you start planning early. You're asking the right questions and that you connect with the right systems and supports, and that you keep your child's voice and their future at the center of every decision. This chapter does not have to be frightening. With the right preparation, it can be the beginning of something really good. So it's very important to start planning as soon as possible. Your child has come so far, and they are not done yet. Now, if this video helped you, please share it with an autism parent who is navigating this transition right now. And drop your questions in the comments. Where is your child in this journey? What feels overwhelming? I read every single comment and I will respond, and I want to help. So please drop comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more autism and special education support each and every single week. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.